Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Q&A with Sridhar Kunde, and I, Nilofer Khan, your host for the evening. In these set of videos, we will be looking at queries sent to us by you on camera settings, jargons, and technicals. So let's look at the first question that comes to us from Chennai by Nimisha Solanki. She's asking, why are color cards used for still life or commercial photography?
Thank you, Nimisha, for sending the question. First of all, uh, as you know, you are mentioning about the color cards in the still life, or the I can say the tabletop photography. In other words, so considering the fact that you are using the light source as a studio light or the on flash camera light for tabletop or the indoor show or the product shots. So as you change the light intensity or as you change the lighting position, there is a likelihood of a chance to change the color temperature of the lighting equipment what you are using. And as the color temperature of the lighting changes with the output reduction or increase in output, or the positioning of the light or changing of the light of say key light and a fill light, there is a every chance of white balance getting off balance than the original value what generally used as a auto white balance. So there are two things to it. You can capture the color card along with the tabletop image that you want to shoot, and use that as a reference to correct your white balance in the post process. So you will have the total consistency in all of the images what you shot with the same light setting, with the same light output for all the images. But I advise you, even if you change the lighting position or you change the output of the lights, again you need to start with the scratch by adding or including the color chart in the first frame that you shoot with the new lighting setup. That would be helpful in getting the consistency in the white balance throughout your all the shoots.
Okay. Also, do you need to use the gray card along with the color card, or that is a separate thing altogether?
See, gray card you can use it. Gray card you can use it, but there are chances that in a single frame you can't, on the single side of the card you can't have the color checker chart as well as the gray card. It may be front and back. So either you go ahead with the color checker chart or the gray card. Gray card will definitely improve your white balance, and using the color checker chart, whatever changes you do in the post process, you can see the direct what I can say effect on the basic RGB or CMYK, because these color squares are included in the color charts. So both are advisable, but at least you should have at least one.
Okay.
If you are not having the color checker card, you can use the white gray card to adjust the white balance.
Okay. All right. So the second question comes from Harsha Verma from Amritsar. She's asking that to download the images from a memory card, which is the better option? Connecting her camera to a computer or using a card reader to transfer?
It depends on the situation and the connectivity what you are looking for. First of all, I will advise you to use the original connecting cable which has come along with the camera or along with the card reader to use while you are transferring the images from the card reader or directly connecting the camera to the computer. Other thing is, if your camera has a USB 3 output and your card reader is having a USB 2 connectivity, then there is a definitely a chance that the images transfer from the camera connect by not by the camera but connecting the camera directly to the PC will be a faster process than connecting a card reader to the camera to the computer. So it depends on the connectivity. Other thing you need to keep that in mind is to use the original accessory cable which has come along with the camera or the card reader. This will definitely improve the speed. Other thing is, if you are connecting the camera to the PC to download the images, there is a chance that few of the juice from your battery inside the camera will be used while transferring the images. In the while using the card reader, there is no such thing happening because the card reader doesn't require a power source to make it on to get it the connectivity with the PC. So that is the other way around here.
Okay.
And there
So
is no chance that, yeah,
there is no chance that
of damaging the card or the card reader in any of this process. Unless and until the USB from your computer system is really bad. So it might, it is a 1 in 1,000 of chance it will damage your camera. So the to avoid that, I will say card reader is a safer option than connecting a camera.
okay.
But again, with the older version of cards, that is the CF card, there are around 50 pins. So once you open the camera door to remove the card and insert the card, there is always a chance to bend a pin, because with the recent SD or other cards, this chance, there is absolutely lesser chance to damage the card reader or even the card compartment in the camera.
Okay. Okay. All right. So this brings us to the last question, which comes from Aarti Rao in Bhopal. She's asking, are filters important in today's day and age where the editing software have excellent multiple tools to work with?
Yes, there are few indispensable filters that are available, which in post-process you can't achieve. First of all, to protect your lens front element, everybody will advise you from the, since like you are starting photography, to use at least a skylight filter or a UV filter in front of your lens, because the software is not going to protect your lens once it get damaged, or once it has been what I can say, if the water splash comes onto the front element, or the oils or the external sand comes on the front element of the lens, the software will not able to help to clean the lens. So it is always to as a first line of defense, it is always necessary to have some kind of protection onto your lens. That is number one. Number two, the other filter which I will always recommend is the circular polarizer, which allows you to add a drama in your landscapes and to get maximum visibility in the foliage what you are shooting, because once you rotate it, all the reflections from the trees or the leaves of the trees where the light is getting reflected into the camera, you can remove that and you will have a better, clearer view of the in the landscapes. The third most important, and I will definitely use, is the variable ND or the ND filter. This will allow you to reduce your shutter speed when you are shooting light trails or shooting if you want to shoot in broad daylight. If you want to shoot a movement, show a movement in your image, the shutter speed can be made slower by cutting the light with the use of the ND or the variable ND filter. So variable ND filter will allow you to control the light passing through to the sensor, and which will allow you to choose different shutter speeds to get different creative effect. So these three are what I can say must have, or the top of the line top three. With, even with the digital photography coming to an age, and there are a lot of softwares, what I can say, plugins are available with the latest photo editing softwares. I think these three are the most important, which everybody should have it in their bag while photographing or while touring, while taking pictures of landscape. So even for the day-to-day activity, these are the required filters, these three.
Okay. So that's what we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Sridhar. Please do not forget to tag your question with hashtag Q&A Sridhar Kunte and post it on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I hope to see you guys next week.
Thank you.